as a teacher, as an organizer, as a representative and spokesman for his teaching group. And there is no encounter that I've had with this man that has been less than memorable. Mr. Samuel, had a quality which I can best describe as gravitas. I think he had a presence. Some people might call it charisma, but he certainly had a strength of personality, and the students who are here and the teachers who are here, you know what I'm speaking of. In one instance, he would laugh and see the humorous side to all or most situations, and at the same time, he would be able to grapple with the more serious, the thornier issues that had to be contended with. And he was always the kind of man who would step to things, deal with things, and arrive at conclusions. A lot of you would have seen this in him, in the way that he dispensed with discipline in the school. And it isn't easy for someone to aspire to and to achieve a reputation as being a strict disciplinarian and at the same time be thought of as a fun guy, a loving guy, a humorous guy. But he was thought of as all these things and more. As chairman, I never had the pleasure of interacting with Mr. Samuels on a day-to-day basis. And indeed, my interactions with him were of a different kind as a general rule. Sometimes very pleasant, sometimes very businesslike and a little harsh and unpleasant. And this man, I remember, had to have a particular kind of discussion with me and members of my board some time ago. It was a serious matter. It was a matter which I believe would have attracted some public attention. But I'll tell you this, in none of his utterances, in none of his communications did I ever believe that this man was anything other than forthright, truth speaking, and just plain and simply a man who said what he think had to be said. And he was confident that when he told his story, despite how much it was prefaced otherwise as being something else and noised about as something else, he was confident that if he quietly told his story, that it would be understood and his actions would indeed be vindicated. I'm proud to say that I have had the pleasure of dealing with this man as one of the leading male teachers in the school. I'm saddened by his departure, and I know that there's a vacuum that has been created in the school life, in the life of his students, not to mention the life of his family and his co-workers. And this is not a vacuum which is going to be easily filled on any of those levels. We at the board would seek to give you the assurance, because I do not believe it is within me to comfort you. But I can assure you that Mr. Samuel's life and the price that he paid is something which we will not allow to go either unremarked or forgotten. We will contrive by whatever means necessary to ensure that this family Vauxhall remembers the passing and the life and the contribution of one of its best sons. In matters and times like this, it is my duty not simply to wallow in the pity and the sorrow of the moment, but to also seek to understand the lessons that shall be learned from such a tragic event. Because tragedy indeed it was. One of the speakers earlier asked, when did we get to this point? When did we get to this point? Well, I'm sad to say to you all, Vauxhallians, that we got to this point a long, long time ago. Before I spoke last Monday at the remembrance that we had then at devotion, I caused a very good friend of mine, an excellent statistician, to actually do a historical referencing of crime statistics, in fact, homicide statistics that have plagued Jamaica. And that person went back 12 years, just arbitrarily 12 years to 2008, and carried it forward until now. And I'm here to tell you that between then and now, 1,600 plus people have been killed in this country every single solitary year on average over that period. We did not get to this point yesterday. We got to this point a long time ago. And because it expresses itself here in Vauxhall in this very upfront, fierce and unrelenting way in our own backyard, to a teacher who has communicated and been a part of this community, which apparently is the source of his demise. We feel it more acutely, but it has been with us for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. And we need to pause and recognize that if we're not careful, Mr. Samuels may very well be one of the statistics that I quoted a while ago, but we will not allow it. We will not allow it, because here in Vauxhall, in this microcosm, here in Vauxhall, we can control memory. And we can control time in a sense. And we will honor this man, we'll remember this man, and we'll keep him in the hearts of his students and his colleagues and his friends and his family. I'll leave you with one last consideration, because it is important that you recognize that as the board of this school, we also see in what has happened a dire security challenge to the operation and existence of the school. And everything that we do in the next few weeks will be deliberately and directly with a view to addressing and dealing with that challenge in the best way possible, so that we can assure the staff and the student and the users of the school, the parents, and everyone else, that we will go on, that we will adjust in the way that we must, so as to deal with this new dispensation. And life at Vauxhall, touched as it is by this tragedy, will nevertheless go on and will flourish in the years to come. Thank you very much. I want to ask us all, especially the people back there who are paying no attention to anybody, to stop and for 1 minute give silence in remembrance of this man and in acknowledgement of the loss to his family and to this community, starting now. I thank you, Mr. Samuels' soul. Rest in peace.
Thank you, Mr. Honeywell. As we move toward the end of our program,
we want to thank Jordan. We want to thank...
Now time for open tribute.
We want to thank Jordan Mackenzie, the past head boy of 2017 to 2018 in organizing the class of 2013 to 2018 and the present 11th grade and the present grade 11 students to get the shirts.
I'll be reading a tribute from the 2013-2018 Vauxhall High School batch. It broke our hearts to lose a true inspiration in the school, but you did not go alone. A part of us went with you the day God took you home. If tears could build a stairway and our takes make a lane, we would walk our way to heaven and bring you back home. Memory is a treasure. You are respected beyond words, missed beyond measures. In life we appreciate you dearly, in death we also appreciate you. Thank you.
And look at the crowd here at the Vauxhall compound. Tribute to Carl Calibut Samuel, who have been paid in songs.